I am Cinnamon Crow, and I am a divine being, and so are you. How many of you know that you are the divine made manifest in physical form? Yeah? A few of you? It took me many years to come to that truth and accept that as my own. You know, and I can still get so caught up in my day to day, you know, the family, the children, the work, the writing, that I can forget this simple, life-changing truth. And so I have to remind myself on a regular basis that I am a divine being. So before we get started, I want all of you to say with me, say it after me. I am a divine being. And so are you. Good. Now I want you to tell the people sitting next to you. Okay, so now when you see each other in the corridors out there, or when you pass me, you see me at breakfast or something, remind me of that. Come up and say, I am a divine being and so are you. Okay? To help us remember who we really are and what we really are. And I've got to kick off my shoes here. I hope nobody minds. Now, I was brought up Southern Baptist. And I learned from a very young age, you know, I had the white light, burning bush experiences with God and with my angels and guides. And so I knew from a very young age that there was a lot more than what I was being taught. So it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that I began to seek and search out that something more. And so what I started with was the chakras. That was one of the first things I started studying. And I was told in the beginning that there were 7 chakras, and that these 7 chakras are a complete system, okay? I was also taught to ground by sitting in a chair with my feet, you know, flat on the floor, hands out, open the 7 chakras, and visualize a grounding cord coming out of my root and anchoring myself to the middle, you know, the center of the earth. And I see several people out here, you know, nodding your heads. That's the way you were taught to ground. That didn't work for me. You know, it didn't allow my energy to flow completely through my body. And I'm a Pisces, and so I'm up in the ethers most of the time anyway. So I really have to be grounded in order to function to the day-to-day things. And so I had a friend suggest to me a different way to ground. And it was to, you know, stand barefoot, which is how I like to be anyway, hands up in the air, and imagine myself as a tree with roots growing out of my feet and anchoring me into the earth. And this form of grounding worked so much better for me because it allowed my energy to flow completely through my body into the earth and bring earth energy back up, okay? And this worked until about 8 years ago. And when the shift really got intense and the energies, the new energies were really hitting the earth in earnest, even this method of grounding wasn't working for me anymore. And so I had to start seeking and searching for some solutions. There were times during that time period, especially around the full moon, that 3 days before and the 3 days after the full moon, that I would be so amped up. I'd have so much energy running through my body that I knew if I could figure out how to channel that energy, that I could zap someone jogging across the street. I could just give them a little jolt. Not that I would, okay? But I thought that I could because I had so much running through me. And I was trying to work as an accountant in corporate America. And so, you know, I'm not getting any sleep on the full moon. If I get 3 or 4 hours a night during that week, I was doing good. So with no sleep and all this energy, I wasn't good for anything. So I was forced to start seeking out a solution. And I started by going back, right in the beginning where I started, going back through the chakras. And what I found this time was that there are a lot more than 7 chakras. There are a lot more, and they're called minor chakras. And I want to tell you right now, before I go any further, these are not minor chakras. Okay, I have worked intensively with these chakras, and all of these that I'm going to talk to you about today, with the exception of the soul star, are all included in my Chakra Zodiac Healing Oracle deck. So with that deck, you'll be able to study a little bit more and work with some of these other chakras. So since I was seeking a new form of grounding, the first chakra I decided to work with was the foot chakra, okay? We have an energy center on the soles of each foot, and together it makes one complete chakra. So that tree method of grounding that I was doing worked so much better for me because I was unknowingly engaging my foot chakra, okay? Now, if the foot isn't open, it's going to cause energy to build up in the body, and it can cause the upper chakras, the 7 chakras, to actually rip and leak. So this is not a minor chakra, this is a very essential chakra to maximum health here. Now, the first few times that I consciously opened up my foot chakra, it felt like someone was pouring water down my legs. I had so much backed up energy in my body. And it would release for a time, and then it would feel like it was backing up in my legs again. And I started having foot and leg pain, and I wasn't getting grounded still, so I had to continue studying some of these other chakras. And the next one I looked at was the Earth Star. Now, have any of y'all ever heard of the Earth Star chakra? Anyone know? This is one of the out-of-body or transpersonal chakras. It is 3 feet below you in the ground, okay? This is one of the most fascinating chakras to me, and I have to be real careful that I keep this brief because I could talk to you all afternoon on the Earth Star chakra. This is the chakra that actually holds your grounding cord because it's in the earth. So when I learned how to visualize that grounding cord from the Earth Star and connect that into the center of the earth, then I could get grounded. And all of that energy from my upper chakras and the legs was able to be released into the earth where it belonged. Okay? Now, this is the chakra that grounds you into the here and now. Now, I had a lady this morning that was working at the registration desk. She said, Cinnamon, I'm here physically, but I'm just not really all here right now. And that is an Earth Star issue. That is not being grounded from the Earth Star. And I'm like that most times if I don't ground from there. So this is your anchor to Mother Earth, and this is what keeps you planted in the physical realm. Okay? Now, some of the fascinating things about this chakra. Before we incarnate, we all have a plan, a life purpose or intent for this incarnation, and that's called your life path, and that is stored in the Earth Star chakra. It also holds all the various roads that you can take to accomplish that life path. It holds your current incarnation's ancestry and race history. It holds all of your past life and karmic issues. It holds family diseases and family secrets. So it holds a lot of past stuff in here. Now, in my experience as a healer and working with other people, diseases such as cancer come from 3 main causes. The first is a soul will decide to write that into their life path for the experience of it. Now, I have 2 girlfriends that at the age of 30, 32, they both had breast cancer, and they both went into remission. And so now their life purpose is to bring awareness to the cure. They don't fight the disease, they're embracing the cure. It's opposite, it's different vibrations. And they're bringing awareness to the positive side of that. That is their life purpose. So a soul could write cancer into their life path for the experience. Maybe for that, maybe that's how they choose to exit, okay? The second reason that I can get cancer is, let's say all of the women in my family get cancer by age 50, okay? So here I am in my 20s and 30s and 40s, and I'm telling anyone who's going to listen, all the women in my family get cancer, and I'm just biding my time. It's my lot. I know it's going to happen to me. We all know people like this. I am going to manifest that disease, whether it was in my life plan or not, because of my belief. I'm going to physically create that through my belief. Okay? The third reason And this one is the easiest one to overcome. The third reason for cancer is anger and resentment that are left unresolved in the body. It begins to literally eat you up from the inside out. It starts first in the aura. It is a spiritual malady. And if it's not cleared and processed out, it will begin to block the chakras and eventually manifest into the actual physical body. Now, if I have children, especially if I have young children, I have a responsibility to process that stuff out. Little kids, you know, they are mimics. And anyone with kids will tell you they're going to copy your behavior, whether it's good or bad. I was driving with my 3-year-old on Wednesday, and there was this car going really slow in front of us, and he's in his car seat in the back going, "Come on, dude, get out of the way." And I, oops, that's me. You know, he's copying what he hears me do. Little kids, if I'm not processing out my blocks, my children are going to learn that behavior from me and do the exact same thing. Also, you know, children are little sponges. So if mother is walking around with all of this anger and resentment, you know, us women, we're mad, but we don't want to tell you why we're mad, and we're going to hold on to this and let it fester. And, you know, father's walking around with anger and resentment and sorrow and regret and all this stuff that he's not going to talk about. Well, baby who has to interact with these parents are not only going to learn to block up their own emotions, but they're also going to, like a little sponge, absorb the emotions of the parents. Just because you choose not to feel an emotion doesn't mean it's gone. It's still there. It's still there in your aura for anyone sensitive enough to pick it up. And little kids are notorious for this. They're going to pick it up, and they're not just going to pick it up, but they're going to take it as their own. Okay? So now if the parents' emotions are severe enough, if their blocks are severe enough, they're going to manifest cancer through that anger and resentment that is unfelt. Okay? So now the child, when she becomes an adult, if she hasn't learned to process out her blocks, she's not only carrying around hers, but she's carrying around yours and her father's. Chances are when she grows up, she's going to have cancer as well. And she's going to have taught her children this same method of dealing with emotions, which is by not dealing with them. So now your grandchildren are walking around with your blocks, your child's blocks, and their own. And on and on and on. Okay? So how do we stop this? Well, that's the Earth Star. This is where we do that. Under the premise that we are all one, under that premise, when I heal, you heal. And when you heal, I heal. Look at the people sitting next to you right now. Okay? Our aura is outside of our body. It's not confined to inside of our body. So look at how close you're sitting. All of your auras are touching and blending right now. And not just with the people next to you, but with the people behind you, with the people in front of you. So y'all are just one big aura right now. One big unit. And that's not going to end when we all walk out of here and go our separate ways. We are still connected through that web of life, or the matrix of life. So we are all still one. So going back to how do we heal this, time is not linear. It's spiral. So that means that the past, the present, and the future are all happening at the same time. On some level, they're all happening at the same time. So if I go into my Earth Star chakra with the intent of healing all past emotional blockages, even those that don't belong to me, I can effectively heal myself, my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and on and on and on. Now, to heal this, I must go in and, whatever phase, whatever issue comes up, I need to tell them, I love you, I forgive you, I release you. And there are times when you will do this that you're not going to recognize the faces that show up because they are so far down your family line. But you can do this. You can heal this and effectively heal all past generations, yourself, and not only that, you're healing your children, your children's children, and all the future generations from this one issue. You are effectively the chain breaker in that. And this is considered a minor chakra. It blows my mind. This has such potential for worldwide healing. Another example, let's say that there's prejudice in your family. I think if all of us go back at least, a few generations, some of us one or two, we're going to find prejudice in our family line, okay? If enough of us, and I'm not saying everyone in the world, if enough people went in and healed something like prejudice in their own personal histories, so we're going backwards and we're going forward, we could end prejudice in this country like that. It'd be a done deal. You can do that with any kind of an issue through the Earth Star. The potential for worldwide healing is phenomenal with this. And, you can do this for past life issues that are unresolved. And this is really kind of fun because when you go in with the intention of healing any unresolved past life issues, you're going to get a little glimpse of some of your past lives. So it's actually kind of fun to do that one. And I'm going to stop here with the Earth Star because I have some other chakras to talk to you about. But I think I've given you some stuff to think about on your own. And I'll talk more about the Earth Star in the workshop that I'm having on Monday. Another chakra that's included in this deck is the higher heart chakra. It's located midway between the throat and the heart. This is the center for compassion and acceptance, including self-acceptance and self-compassion. So if you have problems, let's say, telling your loved ones how you feel, that's a higher heart issue. It allows you to speak from the heart, out of the throat, the words that generate in the heart. Okay? If you're working on any kind of self-worth issues, if you're doing some self-healing, and you're needing some self-acceptance and self-compassion, this is the area that you want to work on. You work on this in conjunction with the other chakras, the sacral or wherever else, the solar plexus, wherever else that issue is held. Okay, so this one, a good example of someone that works really well out of the higher heart chakra, I always think of Mother Teresa, because she was the essence of compassion and acceptance. And she worked strongly from this area. So again, this is not a minor chakra. This is a very detrimental chakra to our balance and well-being. Another chakra that's in my deck as well is the hand chakra. Now, like the foot, we have an energy center on the palm of each hand, and together it makes one complete chakra. This is another way that we transmute energy in and out of the body. So if you go in somewhere and you pick up some negative energy, or if you're just, like sometimes I'll get that excess of energy going on, all of you can do this with me. Put your hands out to your sides, okay? Don't put them in front of your legs, just put them out to your sides, feet on the floor. And repeat after me. Say, negative energy out. Excess energy out. Now, how many of you felt a tingling or some warmth or something going on in your hands? Yeah, quite a few of you. That is the energy coming out of your hand chakra. It's a great way to release some of this energy. And you may do that for 2 or 3 minutes. There have been times when I've had to do that for 10 or 15 minutes to get all that excess energy out. So this is, especially if you can't sleep at night or something, that's a good thing to go sit and do for a minute and get that excess energy out so that you can get to sleep. Our hands tend to be fairly open because we're touchy-feely people. We're picking up things, we're doing things, we're activating that chakra all the time by just holding on and touching and doing things. This is the center for psychometry, the ability to pick up an object and get a reading from it. So if you've ever wanted to learn how to do that, the hand chakra would be the one that you would work with. Healers, healers know the importance of, even if they've never thought of this consciously as a chakra, they know the importance of the hand chakra. Another chakra is your ear chakra. We have an ear chakra right in front of the physical ears, one on each side. This is the center where we hear otherworldly guidance, like from your guides or your angels. So if you're wanting to be able to hear those kind of things, this would be the center that you'd work on. The third eye allows you to see, but this allows you to hear. So you'd want to work on that if you're having trouble hearing your angels or guides. The The last one, and this one is not included in the deck, but it is included in the workshop, is the soul star chakra. Now, I call this one the Ascension chakra. It's located about a hand width above your head. So if you take your hand and kind of feel over your crown, you can kind of feel the energy a little bit, and then just start kind of moving it. You'll start to feel a little bump where the energy changes. Wherever you feel that change, that is your soul star. This is your connection to your higher self. This is where your spiritual abilities are stored. And it's the center for ascension and spiritual enlightenment. It's the gateway to the other transcendental chakras. You know, that's not the only one. There's many in line with the crown. And this is the gateway to them. This chakra is so important because when you're receiving energy from the divine, it comes through the soul star and it's slowed down to a vibration that can be withstood by your body. Because if we just channeled straight divine energy, I personally couldn't handle it. So the soul star slows it down to a frequency that can be withstood. This is also where you enter when you first incarnate. And it's where you exit. This through the soul star. That is that white light tunnel that people report seeing in near-death experiences. That's traveling through the soul star. That's what that is. Now, when this is attuned and activated, it'll allow you access to the Akashic records. Okay? It also stores your soul's highest purpose above and beyond all of your lives. So where the Earth Star held your life path and your highest intention for this life, the Soul Star holds your highest intention for all of your lives. So they're really opposite sides of the same scale, the Earth Star and the Soul Star. The Earth Star holds all your karmic issues that need to be resolved. The Soul Star holds all your karmic lessons. So all of the lessons that you've learned, the Soul Star helps you integrate that into your current life. This is where you're attached to the reincarnation cycle, is through the Soul Star. Now, if you can release the karmic ties and release the karmic issues in the Earth Star, and if you can integrate the karmic lessons in the Soul Star, you can overcome karma. We don't have to be tied to karma anymore. We do not have to be tied to karma anymore. If you can overcome karma, if you can evolve past karma, any future lives that you have will be by choice, and you'll have full memory of your purpose. Now, wouldn't that be nice to be able to come in with full memory of why you're here? This is the chakra that, and the soul star, I need to add here, is not fully developed in most of us. It's rarely opened. We have to work at getting the other chakras open before we can work on the soul star. However, in rainbow children, it is fully activated from birth. This is where they have that intuitive knowledge, where they have that natural affinity for magic and instant manifestation. This is where it comes from. This is also how they know how to bend time and teleport to get instantly from one place to another. That's from the soul star. That's fully developed on a rainbow kid. So the soul star grounds your God essence into you. It is where the knowledge is stored. And I only saw a few hands when I said, how many of you know that you are divine? The soul star is where that knowledge is held. You are the divine made manifest in physical form. You're here to experience yourself in all possible ways. You are divine. Knowledge of this truth is stored in the soul star. When you can open that and really grasp that knowledge, your true powers of creation as a creator will begin. That instant manifestation. Now, I teach a class, and I'll be teaching it on Monday, called Cosmic Vibrational Healing. And this is a healing method that is touched upon in the Chakra Zodiac Healing Oracle deck that Dolores had brought up here earlier. It uses the planetary energies to facilitate healing. So how many of you knew that the chakras have a ruling planet? Each chakra has a ruling planet. Nobody, huh? Well, they do. Each chakra has a ruling planet. If your planetary energies are out of balance, Your chakras are out of balance. That's why I could go and get Reiki healings, and I would feel fine. I'd feel great for a day or two, sometimes a few days, and then I'd be all icky again. It wasn't because the Reiki didn't work. Reiki's wonderful. It's because my planetary energies were out of balance. So once I learned to get those balanced, then I don't have those issues anymore. How many of you have ever experienced a really crazy full moon? Or a negative Mercury retrograde? Yeah, I'll see some hands on that one. I've already told you a little bit about my full moon experiences, and don't even get me started on Mercury retrograde. I learned through cosmic vibrational healing how to never have another negative Mercury retrograde. I have learned how to overcome that. We're in Mercury retrograde right now, for those of you who don't know that, and I never have to deal with that anymore. Right after I began really working with the planets, working intensely with the planets, I discovered that my root and sacral chakras, which are the lower two, the red and the orange ones, they were gone. They were completely gone. I went in and looked one day and they were gone. And my solar plexus wasn't where it was supposed to be. It was moving up towards the heart. And so I called one of my girlfriends, who is also a Reiki master, and asked her about it. And she said, well, Cinnamon, the only time I've ever heard of anything like that is when a soul is getting ready to exit. And I knew that wasn't the case. You know, I knew I wasn't going anywhere. So I started looking online, you know, and looking around to see if I could find any kind of information on this, and there was nothing. And so I knew just from talking with my guide, you know, this was part of Ascension, and that my chakras weren't necessarily disappearing, they were merging, but I didn't know why. And I didn't have any real way to confirm that what I was actually seeing was what really was happening. So when my solar plexus finally disappeared into the heart, I still couldn't find any information. I sent an email to Guy Needler and asked him to verify what I was seeing. And so he did a distant scan on me, and he said, yes, your lower three chakras are gone, and if you look, your first, second, and third auric layers are gone as well. I'm like, okay. Well, now that I had it confirmed, I started going on my different healing sites and posting this information as part of Ascension and the chakras merging, and I started hearing from healers all over the world saying, we're seeing this on ourselves, we're seeing this on our clients, we have no idea what was going on. Everyone thought they were crazy. And it's not. It's part of the Ascension process, the chakras merging. So this is how it happened for me. As I started to release those old childhood and adult issues, you know, those insecurities and things, the root merged up into the sacral. And this is real common right now, that this sacral merging is being called the dark night of the soul. And if any of you have seen anything like this on the internet, this is what they're talking about. It's where you get plagued with all of these past emotional issues. And there were weeks where I just had all of this stuff coming up, and I'm looking at it going, man, I thought I dealt with that. Well, I guess not. And so I'd have to stop and look at the picture and feel the emotion and then release it. And it was just one after the other, after the other, after the other for weeks. And this is going on all over the world. I'm having people contact me all the time saying, what in the world is going on? You know, why is this stuff coming up now? And it has to. It's coming up now so that you can get rid of it, so your chakras can merge. The next stage of this was the solar plexus. As it was moving up, I was having images of other people's images of me that I took on as my own. So what other people thought about me, that I took as my truth, that no longer served me anymore, these things were coming up. And so I would look at it and just send it back to its owner with love and say, this belongs to you, not to me, and let it go. And when I could get rid of all of those images, then the solar plexus could move into the heart. Can y'all hear me? Because it sounds like my sound is kind of going in and out here. Okay. So as of the moment, nothing has happened to the upper chakras, to the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Those are all pretty much staying the same for now, and I expect that to change over the next coming months, but for now, this is just how it is. And I bet many of you, if I could get you on a Reiki table and hold a pendulum over your lower chakras, many of you are going to find that your lower chakras are gone too. You may go in and you're going to see what you expect to see, but if you actually try and hold something over your energy center, many of you are going to find that they're just not there anymore. And that's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. They are all moving into the heart to give us a big power chakra in the heart. So we're working from that center of love. There are what I call star points. There are many chakras that are developing all over the body, and they are following the lines of the meridian, mainly. There are other places, but these new star points are developing to allow us to be able to process much more light. Instead of having these lower chakras that really are all about 3D and physical, right? We're working from the upper spiritual chakras, and these star points allow us to process all of this light because we're moving more towards being light beings, eventually through ascension. Now for me, the star points as they developed, it was very painful. And I think that was simply just to get my awareness to the issue so that I could share it up here with you. But if you want to start looking for these, you can look on the inside the elbows, the shoulders, the wrists, the heels, behind the knees, and all along your meridian, your hips, your back. You'll find, if you hold a pendulum over it, you'll see where the energy moves, whereas before it would just stand still. So all of this is part of the ascension process. The planetary energies and the Chakra Zodiac Healing Oracle, that newest deck that I wrote, all help process, speed up this process. Working with the planetary energies is what has allowed me to really align my energies to the point to where I could have chakra merging. I will be conducting the Level 1 Cosmic Vibrational Healing class on Monday after the conference. For those of you that are interested in learning some healing techniques, it really is easy enough for someone that doesn't have any kind of prior healing skills that you can learn it and use it right away. If you've already got some healing skills, Reiki or Violet Flame or anything like that, you're going to learn some new techniques that work very well in conjunction with this. We'll be talking about 13 of the chakras, what planetary energies are, what the ruling planet of each chakra is, and not only how to balance and heal with these energies, but how to use these energies in daily life. Because, you know, if you think about it, the planetary energies are hitting the Earth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we have a whole zodiac system around the planets. These energies affect us. So we will learn how to use these energies the way they're meant to be used, how to channel these energies. And does anyone have any questions at this point?
You have on the list here why the other less common chakras are detrimental to maximum energetic health. Would you tell me how those less common chakras are detrimental?
Well, for instance, some of the things that I showed you, like the hand chakra, how to release extra energy or pin-up energy or negative energy. Your foot chakra, you know, if our foot chakra is not open and engaged, it causes all kinds of leg issues, restless leg syndrome, leg pain, a whole host of issues, depending on what the chakra rules and what it does. We're going to be talking about a lot of this in that Cosmic Vibrational Healing class, what these other chakras besides the 7 rule, and what we need to do to heal these and balance these. The Earth Star, what I was mentioning in the talk, is essential to worldwide healing, not only for us, but for our past and for our children. You know, it's all those family diseases, all those family issues. Did that answer any of your questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
You spoke of some of the minor chakras, especially the ones with the ear. Mm-hmm. If this controls clairaudience of some type, how can you unblock that chakra?
Well, this chakra, first of all, you would meditate and open it just like you would open any other chakra in the body. Okay, this tends to be a red-violet color. Okay, so you would open it up, and this is ruled by the planet Mercury. So you can actually channel Mercury energy into your ear chakra and open those up. If your ear chakra is closed, it's not just for clairaudience. Okay, it's being able to process what you hear, what other people say to you. So if I'm not understanding what you're telling me, or if you're saying something and I'm hearing something else, that is a closed ear chakra. Any kind of ear issues, ear aches, any kind of ear issues we might have, ear illness is a closed or blocked ear chakra. So you just do it just like a normal, any other chakra. Practice opening it.
So you mentioned a couple of grounding methods, but I don't know if you ever got to the one that you're currently using. You said where you're standing like a tree. Is that the one you're currently using right now? What are you using right now?
No, the one I currently use now, and we do this in the class, is I sit with my feet on the floor. I sit in a chair with my feet flat on the floor, and I open up the regular chakras, the 7 regular chakras. I open up the foot chakra. And that opens down into the earth. Instead of out, it opens down. And then I let my attention drop to my earth star. And in the beginning, in order to get my attention even to the bottom of my feet, because that's kind of a hard place to open if you've never done it before, I would take my finger and just press onto the soles of each foot. Not hard, but hard enough to where when you take your hand away, you can feel it. So that after I've opened my chakras, I can put my attention easily on the foot chakra. Open that up, and then let my attention drop until I hit the earth star. And if you think you bumped something, you have. And that's usually going to be an olive green or a tan, some kind of an earth tone color. And I would open that up into the earth, and then visualize the grounding cord and connect that to the center of the earth. And that works so much better. And the energy flow, when I would open up my foot, you would feel the energy running out until you felt like water. Well, now it doesn't back up anymore because it's going directly into the earth star, into the earth. And that works wonders.
I have a question about the heart chakra. I'm a naturopath and I work with clients, and often we discuss getting out of the monkey mind and bringing the energy down to the heart where the soul resides, the divine part of us. And I'm wondering if you have any melding or anything that you do with allowing those two to come together so they can work more synergistically.
Well, as the chakras start to merge at the bottom, we have that power center at the heart. And the upper chakras, you're not going to be able to open your soul star until your other chakras are open and functioning. Until they're cleared out, you're not even going to have access to the soul star. But once that's open, that is that perfect combination. It goes from the soul star, that perfect heart center. So that really handles itself. If you can clear out these issues and open up the soul star, it'll take care of itself. I have many different techniques that I use. It depends on how much time I have. Sometimes it's just a matter of just visualizing like a lotus flower opening. If I have more time, I have CDs that I listen to sometimes, guided meditations. It just depends on how much time I really have as to what I can do. I have a 3-year-old, so I don't get a whole lot of time for stuff like that. Well, the Chakra Zodiac Healing Oracle has that information in it. There's also information on my website, cinnamoncrow.com. And that actually came about when I wrote this deck. It was not called the Chakra Zodiac Healing Oracle. It was called something else. And I had the chakra and the zodiac symbols all in there. And I had a lot of other different symbols, like the Eye of Ra and the Ankh and all of these symbols. And I turned it into Ozark Mountain, and they accepted it. And before I sent in my final version, I realized I had two different things here, two different decks going on, so I split them up. And then I had all these empty spaces where I didn't have enough cards for a deck, so I just kind of looked up and said, I need a divinely inspired idea. And I was led to an old file that I had on a Roman god deck that I never did anything with, and it had keywords and all of this information on like Jupiter and Mars and Venus. And I moved that information over and wasn't really sure what I was looking at first. And not only does each chakra have a ruling planet, but each zodiac sign has a ruling chakra or a dominant chakra that we work mainly out of. So there's a lot of interesting stuff. It really brings both of these systems together in that deck. Excuse me? Our zodiac? Are you a Pisces?
Yes.
Oh, third eye. Third eye is the ruling chakra. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said?
I just was asking what the Piscean ruling chakra was.
Yeah, the ruling chakra is the third eye.
Also, would you say our galaxy? So what would our galaxy's ruling chakra be?
Well, that gets into something that's coming out in the next day. Okay. It's also more of a level 2 issue as well. There are a lot of stars that are just as important besides just the planets that, the normal planets in astrology. In level 1, we talk about some other planet and asteroid energy. And in level 2, we get into some star points. And we do have a star and a ruling chakra for our galaxy, but that's in level 2 stuff. And actually, I'm doing a level 1 and a level 2 class the first week of November in the Caribbean. And there's a whole package deal that goes with that. So if any of you want to take level 1, or if you take level 1 this week and want to take level 2, we'll be doing that out there. But yeah, very good question.
Yes. Could you go into more detail about how you keep Mercury retrograde from affecting you?
Well, I'll give you a little bit of this. This is part of what I teach in the class. But Mercury retrograde is simply the energy spinning backwards, right? And it causes all this havoc. It messes with our communications and with our travel and things like that. Through cosmic vibrational healing, you will learn to reverse those negative energies and simply turn them forward. And once they're spinning forward, you do that around yourself and around your home, you won't have another negative Mercury retrograde ever again. It's very simple.
Can you comment, please, on balancing from side to side? Is it possible that you appear to have balance on one side of your body, but some of the chakras not in balance on the right side? Can you help me with that?
You mean a right and left side of the
Yes.
chakra? No, it's either in balance or it's not. It's either open or it's not. It's either in balance or it's not. Now, the thing with this is planetary energies. There are some chakras, just like there are certain zodiac signs that have dual ruling planets. So let's say you have some sacral issues, the orange chakra issues. It has a dually ruling planet of both Venus and the moon. So you may be really balanced in some areas and really out of balance in others because you have too much moon and not enough Venus, or vice versa. So really, through standard healing, that's not possible. But with cosmic vibrational healing, what you ask really is possible. It is just and out of balance of your planetary energies. Anyone else?
You spoke about massaging your foot to get the energy flow going. How important is it to, for instance, a chiropractor will tell you your back's out and it's blocking your energy flow. How important is it to keep your body in tune that way to get the full effect of what you're talking about? Is reflexology a route to go, or?
Well, there's lots of different routes that you can go. And if we don't keep, everything starts first in the spiritual. Everything, every illness, every malady that you have starts first in the spiritual. So if we can keep our chakras in balance and our energy flowing, all of that other stuff won't even show up. That's where illness comes from. So if you're already out of whack, okay, and I'm not going to tell you don't go to a doctor or don't go to a chiropractor, because that is for each person to decide for themselves what is the best way of healing for them. But if you don't have these issues to begin with, then keeping yourself in balance will keep you from ever having those issues. If you have them, then whatever you feel best. But you're going to help your progress along with Western medicine by doing this chakra work. And in Houston, where I live, they are at the children's hospitals, they're having Reiki masters come in and volunteer their time. And so they're doing a combination of Western medicine on these cancer patients, children cancer patients, and Eastern medicine, the Reiki. And the results on the children that are getting the energy work along with Western medicine compared to the ones that are just getting the Western medicine treatment, it's phenomenal, the difference of how much better these children are recovering. So it's very detrimental. It's going to help anything you're already doing for yourself.
That is this powerful healing technique girls reject that traditional energy healing. Why? Why is working this more immediately than the traditional energy?
Well, the cosmic vibrational healing, well, most of the clients that I work in, and I would like to say all, okay, but and I really hate to use words like all or never, but so far with my healings, all of my healings to date have seen instant results, okay? It is, cosmic vibrational healing does not, I'm not saying this is better than anything else. When I do my personal healings, I use a combination of Reiki, of cosmic vibrational healing, and violet flame in all of my healing. So it works really well in conjunction with these other healing methods. And it's powerful. And people are getting up with instant results. I was in the Caribbean in February, and they were calling me the Bruja. Because, these people were coming with ailments that they have been working on for years and years and years and getting all these different treatments, and it wasn't working. And then I do a 45-minute healing, and all of a sudden they're better. And they're getting up going, so it got a little blown out of proportion out there, but it works immediately. It just does. It just is. These energies are hitting, they're here. They're here around us all the time anyway. So if we can tune into them and use them the way that they are supposed to be used, the way they were meant to be used, you're gonna feel it automatically, immediately.